Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Bayonetta. Let's continue. So we did 2 chapters last time. One was really short, just a boss fight. And we ended up kind of in a weird place.
Where the hell am I? I'd better have got frequent flyer miles for that flight.
So we were in Vigrid, and now we're kind of in a destroyed, ancient section with a lot of fog. It seems quite familiar. This looks like a section in Darksiders, particularly, where we fought some enemies. I wonder if the two influenced each other, or if it just directly is the same architecture being reused, some middle third-party landscaping software. We're not too far now. There's, I guess, another whole page, but I guess we're close to halfway through on that. Let's see. Last time we saw Malphus, which is our third demon creature. There's only 4 more. You just see them at the end. We've had several new angels since the last time we looked here that we've fought. Didn't really spend enough time with the enchant or the fairness, but don't worry, they'll come back. And we've met Jean, although the story didn't I guess they said her name out loud, Bayonetta did, for a second. And then Fortudo was the boss that we just fought. It's a cardinal virtue, they say. It's a named enemy. And he made special point to say that their creator, Jebulus, is going to be reborn. So we have now 8 achievements and no crows. And earn 10 platinum medals must be earned in 10 different battles. I imagine if this is 10 platinum, I bet something like this might be, well, I guess these things are telling me exactly what to do, aren't they? So I could just go through these and figure out what I need to do. As far as all of these, let's see, the Angels Metropolis, Vigrid City of Deja Vu, the Burning Grounds, Lost Holy Grounds. All of these seem like places we've already visited, so there must be a trick to it. And if I wanted to click here, we can get some more information about it. It doesn't actually play music though. I figured that might be what it would do, is it would actually play a specific song for their soundtrack that they'd want to sell. Of course, recently a game had to be taken off Steam because of the music in it, because they lost the license to it, which makes no sense to me why you wouldn't have a lifetime license on a video game that you intend on selling forever. I suppose, just in an effort to save myself some frustration, I might as well make some of these things and see if that... I'm thinking I'll just make a bunch of these. What I want to do is get everything back up to 10 and make the horns, because I have those equipped. Oh, and here are those weapons. So, weapons can be assigned to set A or set B. You can change them anytime. Let's assign these to this. And let's see. Interesting. So, details. Can't spin this animation around. Possessed whip and a sword. So I've got a gun, I've got a sword, and with my feet I have this. When I do this, I've got this whip, which that is the new Darksiders 3 is going to be a whip-based attack, and I expect something as good as this whip, if not better, by the time they're done developing that game. Otherwise, I'm going to be rather disappointed. Look at that. And it's still guns on the feet. I don't think we can switch the guns away. And we've got demons of some sort. Feels like the sword might be good for a... I'm still not sure how you get a dash towards people, because I could have sworn that was the left trigger, and maybe I should just go into the options and look. Let's see. Controller, controls. Just show me for a second. No, apparently there, as far as the basic controls go, there is no dash. So it must have just been easy mode. That took some health from me, which means probably in the first fight I encounter, I'll have already taken some damage. I wouldn't have minded if look at that. That was a low combo too. Maybe you need to play it on a little bit more difficult. Umbrian Training Grounds runs. There's a powerful barrier here, but something on the other side giving me a strange sense of deja vu. Interesting. So we fought, I think, these guys before. Maybe we haven't. Nope, these are new. And they come in a team. Grace and Glory. And they have a different... They have a different torture attack you can do here. Potentially have the chance of tearing up my the palm of my hand as I move the left stick in the right direction, because I'm sitting in the wrong direction actually. And it's probably not even worth using that, because it only gave me like 120 and that LP is only a small section. I don't think I took any damage actually in the fight. I think I took damage in... So now I can have these weapons equipped. So we gotta just move forward, I guess. We'll use the gauntlets in another section. This is an interesting fight, considering you're having to fight them and not destroy your own health by falling off.
Huh. My lipstick.
This guy again.
Nothing. Damn. What the?
I've often seen a girl without lipstick, but lipstick without a girl? Most curious, isn't it, Cheshire? What's also most curious is how a child like you has kept afloat in this town.
The name is Luca! And don't you think it's a little strange to be worried about my well-being? Sure, the Festival of Resurrection is peak security. The thing only happens once every 500 years, can you blame them? Besides, when you look as good as I do, security isn't a problem. With a killer like you, on the other hand, I'm sure you found a way.
That little girl. I've seen her somewhere.
She's not even paying attention to him.
Hey, don't go freaking out on me. We both know you came here for something. But what you don't know is the closer you get, the harder it's gonna be for you to get away from me and what you've done. You'll have to fess up to it all. I can't wait for you to get your hands on whatever it is you're after.
Let me guess, you want a cut? Well, if you're still alive by then, perhaps you can appeal to my generosity.
Still alive? You may be standing right in front of me, but you're definitely not living in reality. Which is a shame, because the truth is always going to be the truth. All I see when I look at you, the real you, is the truth. The truth is, you killed my father. I don't care who believes me. They can't project the truth. The truth will set me free from your black stain on my life. The truth will allow me to expose you to the world. Then, I'll have won. And I'll do it without stooping to your level.
Interesting, it went to full animation
Because I'm
here.
not a heartless witch like you. Whoa, whoa! What are you gonna do? Kill me in plain sight? Go ahead. It would only prove everything I've said about you. Well, that and sadden the hearts of a number of young ladies. Claire, and Trish, and Sylvia, and Amy. Oh, you don't want to piss her off, let me tell you. Hell hath no fury.
He grabs her butt.
What the?
So she saves his life. These guys are back. Or actually, these are a new version of a creature we'd seen before. So what score did I get for that? Odd, it didn't give me a score. So that's not the full part of this verse. It feels like there was something supposed to be accessible that direction, but certainly it's not accessible now. Maybe I have to be playing on the harder modes. That would really suck if there was elements of the game play just locked out until you had played it once or beaten it on a certain level. That was a powerful attack, but not really a necessary attack. In all honesty, I think I probably would do better with just focusing on playing the setup normally. Heavenly Manipulators. Crescent Valley, blah blah blah. Heavenly Manipulators. I imagine what this means without reading it is that we're going to change it from day to night or something. Let's see. I guess these Onyx Rosen I haven't even tried yet, so we'll see how those work. But I kind of feel like I also just want the default setup. Let's see. We're not quite there yet. So we're gonna turn this and it's going to manipulate this. Seems like the witches used this to study the stars, even though it's rusting in places it was well constructed. So we're kind of in an Umbrian place, a witch controlled area. Oh, so if I turn it to night, I'll get moonlight, and if I get moonlight, then I can run on things. It's an interesting ability. It's a very interesting ability. A moonlight disc is visible through the crescent window. With the moon's sudden appearance in the sky when the gears rotated, just a coincidence. Well, far be it for me to point out the obvious, but most people, the moon doesn't just randomly appear. So, theoretically, I am falling down this hole. And so I should fall sideways. And am I trying to hit things while I'm falling? I guess I am. Let's see. I'm trying to spin the thing and see if I could go into like a shooting mode, but it doesn't seem like you really could. Actually, you can. Interesting. But mostly just holding X is probably your best bet. If I hit some people, fine. If I don't, fine. And I'll just go ahead and give this a regular spin. Oh, there's actually a trick to this that's more than it meets the eye. It's not just randomly spinning really fast. It's you've actually got to spin it in the direction the game tells you. Ah, and we've got some new angels. New monsters. Harmony. This game wouldn't play as well, honestly, if the angels did look like angels. And frankly, it would not make as much sense. Let's see what a torture attack looks like here. He pulls out a chainsaw. And is gonna slice it in half. Wow. Boy. Boy, do I want to see every single torture attack available going forward after that one. That was a happy surprise. So we now have some more of that. Where did I get this chainsaw? And can I keep it forever? Like, ooh, I want this chainsaw for the rest of my life. Are there any collectibles or paths down this way? See, that almost looks like you'd be able to go that direction, but no. There are some basic things that it feels like with more money, a remake of Bayonetta 1, put in the story of Bayonetta 2, whatever it may be, and I guess I don't want to get blown by these. Yes, I don't. Okay. Let's jump down here, which is Tears of Blood. I think this is probably helpful. Umbrian Tears of Blood. Those are the collectibles we've been finding. Let's see. We missed one book, it feels like. But the ability to jump to other areas. The ability to collect other things. Should I go in here? Might as well. We'll take that brief time.
You bring me enough of these halos, and maybe I can buy a ticket to space. Always wanted to be a bald space marine. What can I do for you anyways?
Reference to, I think, Halo. Oh, well, of course it's a reference to Halo. That makes all the sense in the world. I need another 60,000 to purchase things. And then I do kind of want to buy this item. But I can't afford it right now, so this whole trip was pointless. Although getting to see Bayonetta walk away is never a bad thing. We can get like 5 halos for doing that. That's hardly worth your time. Let's move forward. And what's this? This must have been used during the training of the witches. Stepping on it gives hints of some sort of faint movement. Well, if stepping on it gives a hint of faint movement, then the fact that I can get up here and then do this probably is how it gets switched open. And that's a default ground attack. Jormungandr's staff interior. I mispronounced that for certain. Is there anything sneaky back behind these? Nope. One would think if there's that there must be a way to stop angels from appearing inside of witches sections, Umbrian sections. But maybe not. Or maybe whatever security you had before has broken down over the decades. Our door. Three attacks with that chainsaw. Well, I love that. Pure platinum. I'm gonna pick up his weapon, however. And let's see, we've got moonlight. And in the moonlight, it seems like I can run around and do whatever I want, but it wants me to come over to this section. I'm trying to hit this creature that's flying around, but it doesn't strike me as... So I think the idea here is to not take damage and make your way to the top. And I guess these big birds that are flying up don't mean anything. Let's see how this torture attack works this time. No, you get the chainsaw directly from them. So, wow. Interesting. You just get to keep that chainsaw as an item after you pulled it out for a torture attack. See, that feels like something that only on easy mode. Let's see. And is that death instantly? Yes, it is. Fortunately, you have infinite continues. However, not exactly the fairest thing, because remember, I already spent some effort to get 2 hotshot items to refill my health. And what's the point of having the hotshot items to refill your health if you instant die way more often? Let's see. And so for pushing that button really, really hard, you get 80 extra halos. Really not worth your effort. I'm still having to do a lot of dodging that I kind of suspected might not be required on easy mode, but I guess I'm glad they're giving me something to do. This really has turned into a maze, hasn't it? I assume. Right then, the moon goes away. So it's as if these bats are controlling things and know what's going on. What's this do? Interesting. So this will let me slow down time. But first things first, I have to, I guess, try this the first time. And that doesn't work. And there's a gear. So what fixes these things though? I guess you just have to look to start the fight. So that guy finally got an attack on me so you can see what it was. His gauntlets do electricity, the other guy's gauntlets that are red do fire. Apparently destroying even a single angel in proximity of these two repairs them. And see, one would assume this I just ran through it. I thought there might be something more to that, but I guess not. And we'll run downward to this, which gets us a magic flute, which I feel like if I was playing on harder difficulties, I could probably use a couple magic flutes in boss fights just for massive amounts of damage. But you also have to do that Nintendo thing when you fight a boss where you have to actually accomplish goals, do quick time events, and then you hit that life bar after that point. I'm using the shadows to be good indicators. Let's see, witches' graves within the city. And stone coffins. We've been seeing these, so no surprise there with any of these. So we did miss like one book. So we're not going to have a perfect game, certainly. I can, right now, do what I wanted to do. So we might as well. I feel like if you follow these and try to keep your collectibles low, you'll probably pick up more collectibles in the long run. This feels like a section designed to let you all the pieces fit together to form it. So we got all the pieces. I'm a little surprised we did. Let's see. Surprised by that too. I need to run. I think you'll probably be okay, but there is it feels like a chance at least that you would actually die. Certainly could die right there if you didn't jump. Get another angel. You know what's really surprising here is this game actually does feel like it had a troubled development and somehow pulled itself out of the gutter. Usually, when you're talking about a video game that had troubled development, it's like, oh well, that game is awful. It's never gonna. It had no chance of being good at all. But that's not the case here. There's clearly sections and animations that maybe they were just budgeted for and decided they were needed that could have been in-game engine, or look how ugly it is when all the gold and stuff is away. Time for the fight. But instead they just made animations instead of in-game engine fights or in-game engine cutscenes. And it works. And when you do actually play the game, it never feels wanting. And if there is anything that feels a little short about the game, you can always play the game as multiple times on the difficulty settings. Which I guess might be a long-winded way of coming to the realization that there's never a point when you're not having fun with Bayonetta. Unless you're just not going to have any fun with Bayonetta at all. Every section is good and desirable, something I would replay. Of course I am replaying this. This isn't a game that I've played a ton of times, maybe 2 times before this. But
another LP? Working me to
I
the
wouldn't
bone.
be upset if I was to play this
bored anyways. Let me
a
go
3rd
whip
and
some
4th
things into
time.
shape for you.
Maybe even a 5th and 6th time since they're so short. It's almost like the animation part is the troubled development. There was one team that made the game and did a great job making the game, and then there was one team that did all the cutscenes and story, and the story's fine. It's crazy, but it's fine.
But the workmanship side.
But the animation itself.
Go put this thing to good use.
So now we have the Durga, and these are weapons we just unlock with the so we already had the Onyx and these are just alternate versions. Let's see, a production version of the original Onyx. So this is just probably a different appearance, if I was to guess. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't even change how it acts. Techniques. Can't afford any. Rodin's treasure. This one's now. This will change your costume for the perfect match of a Durga. And I've got a lot of halos I need to earn. And see, that's what's really going to push me to play this game. Potentially even without recording it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point when I had some free time, maybe if I was sick and couldn't speak without coughing or something, that if I ever had an instance like that, I could see myself coming back and playing this game just for my own personal entertainment, not for the YouTube channel. These are slightly awkward jumps. We've got Rodin in the Gates of Hell. The character we saw at the beginning of the game is completely gone. That's probably a good thing. It'd be cool if he shows up later in the story, maybe later in a future game. But I didn't feel like he needed to be there. Frankly, nobody needs to be in this story at all because this is so much about Bayonetta. And she is so much the hero. There's nobody else that comes in and helps. Really, not really. Maybe there's a couple of characters that sort of have some do a little bit of assistance, but I'm not sure I can hit this. So, hit that statue, and there was nothing there. So, time to move on. We've got another one of these. And gotta be careful not to take damage. See, the funny thing about this guy is he's flying trying to do some random damage to me, and I'm trying to do some random damage to him. Neither one of us are succeeding very well. What's funny is the wind is blowing me away. Look, if I take my hand off the controller, it blows me for a little bit, but then it stops me from sliding too far, so there's no risk of fences of explosive and we can consider just a bit of effort should knock it right over. Interesting. I can see a lot of video game players not checking that gate. Here we go. Let's get out of here. It's starting and stopping. Which time? And that time it didn't ask me to press any buttons. So we're in like a hurricane fighting a giant angel, much bigger than what we've seen.
The only ones meddling are your hapless minions. This will be taken care of in the manner I see fit.
It's like he's talking to a hologram. Interesting.
I suppose coming here has given you a second wind. Feeling better, Bayonetta?
Who are you? And don't you dare say my long-lost sister.
Sister? You've quite the active imagination. You and I once fought for the jewel upon the crown of the Umbra throne. And now that you've returned, my sleeping beauty, it is time to finish that fight. No time for daydreaming. advantage.
So we jump into the fight now, after that animation of a fight. That I guess that's an example of them wanting you to see how well Bayonetta can fight, even if you're not doing so well in the game. But see, I barely got a few hits in, and then the game moved on. And now I need a counter. Countering being a new thing. Pure platinum. There. What was interesting in the cutscene with the film strip is it showed a picture of her on the side.
Afraid? Me?
This is a waste of my time. You're still not ready.
So she turned into a jaguar, and then she turned into a bunch of moths. And one big moth, or one big bird. While running, press right trigger twice to unleash the beast within. Unleash the beast within allows you to transform into an animal form and unlock mysterious magical powers. For instance, if one were to unleash the power of a panther and transform into a beast, they would be granted the speed as fast as the wind and would be able to surmount even the most dangerous cliffs with ease. So she could turn into animals.
That was bloody amazing.
She didn't know she could do that. She'd forgotten she could do it. So every time she fights Jean, she learns something new about what the witches can do. And boy, can the witches seem to do a lot. I missed a section again. Chapter 5. I died. And yet, wow, silver. I thought for a second there I got platinum, but no. Silver. I'm doing worse now. And I believe because I'm doing worse in total, I'm getting a lower award. So that would be a long section to go back and play. And as much as I am thinking about maybe playing this twice, in reality I also need to temper that with the fact that I would probably not succeed well at the higher difficulties, even if I had unlocked multiple things. Let's get more of these angels headshotted. I'm doing terrible. There we go, 63. And so, unless I was just going to try and buy a bunch of those magic flutes. I think, well, why not? Let's try to stack our inventory with as many magic flutes as possible. At a certain point, I suppose it might make sense to not even purchase anything. And we move forward to the next section. Chapter 5 in particular puts a bit of a slowing effect on the idea of playing again. But, you know, maybe we, on the second playthrough with New Game Plus, the idea is all of those items would be unlocked.
Deal with the devil?
All the techniques and such.
I'm just fucking with you.
New product information. A new technique is now in stock. Try unleashing the bat within. New product information. A new technique is now in stock. Try unleashing the crow within. So, are these here? Or is there anything else to buy? They're making it important to notice that. Still can't really afford any of these items. And the weapons alts don't make a lot of sense. I kind of want to prematurely buy the outfit alternates, but on another thought, I kind of think I might want to just cheat and get a save file that has everything unlocked after playing it once. That might be just a more efficient use of my time. I certainly wouldn't do that until I played the game all the way through, but you know, makes sense. So, press right trigger immediately after taking damage. That kind of doesn't seem to make any sense. See, if you do it before, you're just gonna get witch time. Okay, I see what it does. Does it counteract the damage? I think it might. So, imagine if you could increase the timing of witch time to slightly before, then you could do this, and then you could kill. So, that almost certainly needs to be purchased. Let's try this one out first. Gaining the power of flight. Mid-air, press this, and you can just fly away. And let's see. You have a Y attack like this, and which is a bunch of feathers. And then you have a B attack like this, and then X seems to do nothing. So if I'm mid-air and I turn into this and I press A, nothing happens. Lock on still works, right bump doesn't do anything. Interesting. And this is like a taunt that it's doing as I'm switching weapons. I guess it just makes her glasses grow. So, while the Crow Within is an interesting idea, it's probably not anywhere as helpful as these other attacks. So, I'm gonna try to spend another 60,000, even though I spent 30,000 just now, to unlock these moves. Feels like we're making good progress. Now the game is a little weird, so we may be an hour away from the third act, or we may be right at the beginning of the third act, or we may be 3 hours from the third act. And it's kind of hard for me to tell. because the middle part of Bayonetta is kind of forgettable, honestly, because the final part of it is so memorable. So we'll just have to see. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.